Hi, I'm Georgina. I grew up in a very small Christian town, and I myself identified myself as Christian from the age of 8 to the age of 15. I used to attend the local youth group every Friday night from the age of 13 to 15. I knew my whole life that there was something different about the way I felt about girls than the way my siblings did, the way my friends did, but I didn't really know if I was attracted to girls in a physical sense or an emotional sense until I met a girl named Sammy. And I'd never told her at the beginning of our friendship that I cared for her deeply, deeper than a friendship. But I remember telling myself that this was wrong, that how I felt was wrong. And I would pray every night for these feelings to go away and for me to have normal friendship feelings for this girl. And then at the age of 15, when I stopped attending youth groups, I tried telling myself that if this was wrong, why did it feel so beautiful? And the first person I wanted to tell was my mum, because I felt as though if she knew, then our relationship with each other could change and she would get to know me, and then maybe knowing me would make us closer. But I remember once I came home from school, after making her a tea, I sat in the chair across from her and she was watching TV, and inside my head the words were forming, the whole conversation was forming, and I kept thinking, this is it, I can do this. And then I was shut down quickly by this little thought that said, what if she doesn't understand? What if she doesn't like who I am? And what if this just makes the relationship worse? And then I didn't tell her, and I bottled it up more. But I did want to tell someone. And at this point, me and Sammy had already tried dating. So she wasn't really in my life, and so I couldn't talk to her about it. So I decided to tell my friends. And I was now 16, almost 17. And I keep getting told every time I tell people this story that coming out in high school is probably the hardest thing, but I do believe that coming out in high school was like the best thing for me. I was ready for people to know, and I needed people to know before I could actually focus on the rest of my life. I needed me to be 100% myself for me to be able to continue getting my life together. And so I sat down with my friends at lunch in our normal spot, and everything was just the same. We were just eating, talking about boys, classes, work. And then at this point I had met a girl named Moana, and I remember saying to them, I've met this girl and I really like her more than I like you guys. And I told them, and I remember them asking me, what does that mean? And I said to them, I don't know a title for it. I don't have a real title for it. I eventually started saying to people that I was bisexual just to sort of make it easier when I was explaining myself, so that I didn't have to form a full sentence of who I was. And then this girl who wasn't really our friend, she overheard it, and she just turned around and she said, "That's disgusting." And she continued on saying that, how did you grow up like this? Like, she was saying how people grow up to love the opposite sex. She said, how did you grow up thinking that you could end up marrying a girl? And I honestly didn't believe in marriage at this point, so I let that comment slide. But when I did try to tell my mum again, her saying it's disgusting constantly ran through my head, and so I didn't. But I wish my mum was the first person to know, because I do honestly believe that if I came out to my mum first, then we'd be able to connect more than what we do. When I did come out to my parents, it was just my dad, my sister, and her boyfriend and my brother in a car. And we were going to visit my older sister. And I don't know how the conversation came up. I can't remember quite but all I know is that I wasn't ready at this point. I wasn't at all ready. But my sister outed me. She said, Georgina's bisexual. Because at this point, my sisters already knew about Luana. I told my sisters after I told my friends. And I still to this day wish I was the one to say it. But I remember my dad turning around and saying to us that it doesn't matter, and that he loved me, and then he told my mum, and from then on I could connect to people, and knowing that everybody that I met, everybody that I was around knew who I was, 100% knew who I was. I knew that I can connect with people properly, and that I could now form healthy relationships. And now that people know who I am, and I know who I am, I can now move on with the rest of my life to make things better with the rest of the world. It does get better. It honestly does.